Hello, this is Dan Farisi, Group Director of Content and Editorial, Industrial and Tech here at Emerald, joined by my colleague Zachary Como, who is Executive Editor at CE Pro. And we're delighted to be joined today by Jason McGraw, who is Group Vice President and Show Director for CEDIA Expo, CIX. We're going to talk about all things CEDIA Expo, CIX 2026. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining me today. Really do appreciate it.
Of course. What's going on, guys?
Glad to be here, Dan.
Good to see you, Zach. Welcome,
Hey,
Jason.
Zach. Pleasure. Aloha.
Right.
Happy Friday. I know we're recording this on a Friday. That's why I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. But I'm also dreaming of warmer weather in the spring. So
Aren't we
after all the snow that many people have had, just kind of picturing a warm, sunny beach. So I'll leave you with that thought.
I'm right there with you, brother. So what is it? The end of February, and we're about 6 months away from CEDIA Expo 2026. What's going on with it? What are we working on?
Well, the team's been working on a whole lot since last fall's show. We are returning to Denver this year in early September, right before the Labor Day holiday weekend. And, we're going back to the same facility. So there'll be a little bit of a commonality there if you've attended in the past. If you haven't been, Denver's a wonderful city to host a convention, especially for CEDIA Expo and CIX. And we certainly encourage everyone to make their plans early and think about what they can do before and after the show in the greater Denver area. There's so many great parks and activities, and catch a ball game down the street with the Colorado Rockies, etc. But it's a great time, a great experience, and it's a great host city for the show. So we're excited to be returning to Denver this year, and it's going to be another great event. I mean, we're working right now with CEDIA very closely on programming for the show. We're recruiting new exhibitors to attend the show. We're talking about new activities that we're going to do at the show, and I know we'll cover some of those today. But we're looking forward to another fantastic event. I mean, this literally is the Super Bowl of custom systems integration, and the main event in North America for residential system integrators and those that are doing commercial work as well, as we're growing the commercial side of CEDIA Expo, CIX, and trying to meet the needs of the channel in the marketplace. So we're really excited about this show, and things are building up, and registration is going to open up in early April, so just around the corner this spring, and we're getting ready.
Well, there's no doubt, Jason. You say it's kind of the Super Bowl. It is the industry show. There's no doubt about it. And of course, when you're talking about integrators, dealers, they want to check out new products. They want to see all the new technologies they're going to be speccing, they're going to be installing. Can you kind of give us a sense of the breadth of new products, new technologies you're going to be able to see at CEDIA Expo CIX, including and especially growth areas or high intensity markets like lighting, security, energy management? The idea that it's not just going to be kind of the same technology, but the full breadth of what Integrator is going to be designing, specifying, and working with.
Well, there you go, Dan. You just gave a great answer to the question right in your summary there. First and foremost, I mean, CEDIA Expo has been around for several decades. It is the premier audio, video, home theater show, for the professional integrator. That will always be the case, and that's the large brands that exhibit at the show. They're bringing the best in lighting, video display, control systems, sound systems. We have 20 audio demo rooms on the show floor and in the convention center meeting rooms. What other opportunity you're going to have at any event in North America to see all the top brands showcasing live full volume demos, so you can test out their products. That's fundamental, reoccurring, great experience every year at CEDIA Expo and CIX. But this year, in addition to that core, what we like to call the core AV part of the show with the brands and products on the show floor, we're continuing to expand and evolve. The show's always evolving, just like technology and applications are evolving. Clearly AI is on the tip of everybody's tongue. How's that, working its way into products and applications and solutions, both for the integrators' businesses and for the customers and the systems, smarter systems that, with sensors, recognize that you're in the room. It knows your favorites. It knows what you like to do. It adjusts based on the environment, the lighting, the temperature, monitors your systems for maintenance and peak performance, energy management, etc. So we're going to be talking a lot more about AI this year at the show. We're working with CEDIA on a great new keynote that'll be announced shortly, focusing on AI and future technology trends, which we think is spot on and very apropos for today's business. You touched on energy management. We're trying to recruit more exhibitors to the show that deal with that, since that's becoming a greater need and demand from clients today in their homes. I think security is one in our personal lives and in our workplace lives, whether it's access control, remote monitoring, and even AI plays a big part in security today with facial recognition and monitoring systems from an automated point of view. We talked about sensors, IoT, Internet of Things. We're working with some technology alliances to get more of their member companies to come to the show and showcase what they're doing with sensors in that technology area there and how it's connected to the internet, which of course is now connected to AI. So there's a common theme here that's weaving through a number of the manufacturers' products on the show. So we're going to see a lot more of that on the show floor this year from leading manufacturers, how they're integrating AI into their product suites. So we talked about security. Now, lighting has been a big growth area in the marketplace, and certainly at CEDIA Expo and CIX, we've been getting more and more lighting manufacturers showing fixtures, control systems, and also window and shade manufacturers on the show, because that's also part of lighting control. So we're definitely growing in that way on the show. We'll have more content there. We've been working with CEDIA on some more lighting programming that'll be offered at this year's show, so we're excited about that. Our team's been reaching out to a lot of new-to-market companies in our Launchpad area, so we're recruiting new companies to the show that got their start. I mean, we love to talk about Josh AI because Alex will tell you they got their start at the Launchpad at CEDIA Expo some years ago, and now look at them. And so, we want to keep trying to help onboard those new-to-market companies and help showcase them at the show as well. So we're excited about that. We're trying to get some more international brands to come back. We've gotten a number of brands from Brazil and a little Brazil pavilion that's been expanding on the show floor, for example. So focusing on new companies. We already have 24 new exhibitors signed up for the show, both the U.S. and domestic brands, a variety of different technologies. I think the point is that you're going to see the major brands that you know and love that are there. The Lutrons, the Sonys, the Origin Acoustics. They're going to have their great products. AV Pro, URC, the list goes on. Paradigm. So they're going to be there at the show. They've already committed to the show. They're on the show floor. They're planning their demos and their manufacturer product training sessions. But we're also trying to get more new manufacturers and new products on the show floor. So there's hundreds. All the name brands introduce new products, and they have them at the show, right? So I know a common theme I heard in the last couple of years. There's nothing new at CEDIA Expo and CIX. Well, that's just patently false. There are hundreds and hundreds of new products that are showcased at the show, and not only from our big brands, but the new and up-and-comers. And so there's so much to discover at the show. If you don't come, you're not going to see that. You're not going to discover it. You're not going to identify new product lines to pick up from brands that you may not be familiar with if you're an integrator. So, we're very excited about trying to keep evolving the show to touch on new product categories, new technologies, and kind of represent what today's marketplace is about for the integrators, for the designers, for the distributors, the reps. I mean, this is the industry's channel show. This is where the manufacturer can really come out, show their new products, tell their story, educate the channel, and make business connections. I know, Dan, you did a nice podcast with Michael Restrepo at last year's show, talking about the serendipity that comes from being at the show and making a business connection. If he wasn't there and hadn't met that person, he wouldn't have had this really great 7-figure project that came to be. So there's so much opportunity there. I'm definitely an optimist, as you can tell, but I think that's what the power of in-person events is about. It's about creating connections, seeing your old friends, seeing your manufacturer contacts and colleagues, seeing what's going on, keeping a pulse of what's going on. But it's really, truly broadening your horizons and looking for what's next, elevating your game, learning more, and fundamentally, how do you continue to grow your business and your professional skills? I think it's truly remarkable and such a unique opportunity.
Yeah, piggybacking on that a little bit, with URC, a great example of this. That at last CEDIA Expo on 2025, they got inspired just walking the show floor, having conversations, and that inspired in AI powered circadian rhythm solution within their platform. So to your point, it's just you're not going to like see what's happening in the market and see this stuff in action if you're not going to events like CEDIA Expo. So to the extent, and I know that we're working on a lot of stuff, a lot of cool ideas and initiatives, but what are we prepared to talk about for new stuff in 2026?
Absolutely. And we got a lot of great feedback from our post-show surveys, and over the past fall, we've been meeting directly with many of the leading brands that exhibit at the show to get their feedback, and definitely been hearing from integrators. People want a little bit more excitement. They want some fun. They want to get hands-on. So we're looking to introduce a number of things this year to kind of address those demands and requests. And one of the things we're going to do is a skills challenge. So we've got a lot of fantastic integrators and installers out there in the industry, and we want to put them to the test. So the details are coming out shortly, and we're partnering with CEDIA on this. But just imagine a number of stations where attendees can sign up, teams from different integrators, bring your team to compete. It's a competition. There'll be time trials about terminating cable, installing speakers, mounting a display, setting up a camera, etc. We're going to finalize the short list of the skills that'll be tested, and it'll be a time trial, but it's also a learning opportunity. So it'd be great for those that don't necessarily want to compete but want to learn how to do it. There'll be that chance as well. But we're going to have some prizes. There'll be bragging rights. Hey, I did this station the fastest. I'm the fastest cable terminator, this year, etc. We're the best team, etc., etc. Yeah. So we want to highlight that. We want to really put a focus on, what integrators do every day, celebrate their skills, celebrate their proficiency and professionalism, and also, highlight best practices and industry skills. So that's why we're partnering with CEDIA to do that and get some industry experts and brands that are going to support these stations with products and skills. So we're excited about this. We're putting the details together. We'll announce soon, like how you can apply to get your team submitted in the competition. But it's definitely going to be a new fun area, and that'll be in the back of the hall. And it'll go throughout the 3 days of the show. So that's something new that we've been focusing on for this year. Of course, I work very closely with both of you on planning out our programming for the Smart Stage this year. We're looking to continue to elevate the thought leadership discussions. We're going to introduce a new manufacturers panel this year with some of the leading brands, executives from leading companies talking about their point of view. I know we've had our leaders from the associations and the buyers groups, meet every year, kick the show off about their view. We also want to hear from the leading brands. What is their vision? What's their roadmap? How are they implementing AI, for example? And I know both of you will come up with some great questions for them as well. So we're going to work on that panel as an example. But we definitely come up with a clean slate, blank slate every year. What are the hot topics? how do we talk about those on the Smart Stage? So that's there. Those sessions are free, run throughout the 3 days of the show. We are going to expand our CE Pro All-Star Band opening night party. It was very successful this past year at an offsite performance venue. We're going to find the venue again this year. We're working on that with our operations team. But we want to invite some other industry players to come in. And, if a group's got a band, integrator band or manufacturer band, we want to see, create quasi battle of the bands there to add on to the program the CE Pro band works so hard to put together and make it, again, a great kickoff party for the show. That's been a staple for many years. It's a fun event. And, there's many professionals in the industry that their day job might be an integrator or a rep or a manufacturer. Their fun job, and probably what they'd prefer their first job to be, is a rock star. So,
well, it's funny because a lot of folks come to this industry from adjacent industries. One of them being, music and live sound. A lot of these folks are roadies and musicians themselves. So that's a great point.
100%. So, as far as the fun, we're adding another industry party on the second night. We're organizing that. That'll be at another local venue. We recognize that networking is so important, not to take away from the great functions that our exhibitors put together, dinners. There's definitely room for all of that as well. There's a three-legged stool. I've said this before, that most people come to the show to see new products, right? Then they come for the content, for education, learning, thought leadership, how to improve their skills, what's next for their business. And then the third part of the three-legged stool is the networking, the getting together with your friends and colleagues in the industry, meeting new business associates, and or like Michael had done, a new business opportunity through a connection made at the show. So we recognize that networking is an essential part of that experience at the show. So we want to continue to foster that. Last year, we hosted again for, I want to say, I'm going to mistake this, 14th year, maybe it's the 15th year this year, the Women in Consumer Technology Luncheon, another great networking event held at the show. I've talked to Carol Campbell. She's bringing that back again this year. We're happy to help host that at the show. The Day of Discovery program that is for architects, builders, designers, working with Technology Designer Magazine. That's a program on the first day of the show with a lunch and includes tours of the show floor. A great opportunity for integrators to connect with designers, builders, and architects. And that's in concert also with CEDIA, adding programming for those individuals as well. So, we're continuing to expand on that theme of trying to bring specifiers and architects, designers together with system integrators, and get more of those folks coming to the show and learning about how they can work with system integrators and learn about the technologies that are available for their customers today that are demanding smart home solutions. So these are some of the things that we're doing that are expanded. Some of them are brand new, like the Skills Challenge. We're still working on some other details, some additional lighting programming. We're looking at some additional Birds of a Feather meetups. I know we had Women to Watch on the stage last year, continuing to look for those things. We're introducing a new Best Booth Awards program for the first time here at CEDIA Expo and CIX. And, attendees will also be able to vote for their favorite booth. And we'll give awards out based on booth size as well as product category. These are not product awards. You guys do the Best Product Awards. This is about Best Booth. What booth captivated your attention? What had the great interactive display? What booth really looked impressive? We want to celebrate the investment that the manufacturers are making in the show. And, we want to celebrate that at the show. We want attendees to be involved in that. We're going to have some industry judges. So that's an all-new program this year that we're going to launch and really help to continue to celebrate the success and the investment and creativity that the manufacturers are bringing to the show floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what I'm really excited about because, as you say, there is so much creativity, there is so much innovation that goes into brand marketing, event marketing. I can't wait to see the demos, the booth activations, the
Mhm.
gamification, everything that is going to put these people in line to potentially be named best booth for their size or for their category. And I just wanted to rewind very quickly and just go back to the day of discovery very quickly because so much now, whether you're talking about Resi AV, custom integration, or Pro AV, we're talking about client outcomes. We're talking about experiences. And if you're going to have the level of experience that's now expected, you need to be involved in those conversations early, talking to those architects, talking to those builders, talking to those designers. AV cannot be last to the table, either on the Resi side or on the commercial side. So it really sounds like CEDIA Expo CIX has the potential to catalyze those early connections, get AV to the table sooner, get them more involved in the ideation and execution stage so that we can really deliver the client outcomes we want to deliver. It seems like a business enablement show. It's a tech show, it's a networking show, but it's also a business enablement show.
No doubt about that, Dan. And we have such high scores from attendees every year that are just over the moon. And we have a high percentage of first-time attendees every year who haven't been, and they come to the show. Their eyes are big and wide, and they're just amazed at all the different displays, solutions, and learning. And I think that's what makes the show so special, and so satisfying and rewarding for everybody that comes. I mean, it's great for us to be the hosts, and we plan this great party, but it's truly the convergence of the manufacturers, the channel, the integrators, the designer, builder, architects, the whole community coming together at one place, one time. There's so much efficiency in that. And at the end of the day, I mean, we can all shop and digest data online, and we're doing that all the time these days on our phones, on our computers. Nothing replaces being a human being, talking to another human being, and being able to touch something, feel it, talk to the tech engineer from the manufacturer, learn the proper way to use the product, or what are the product's capabilities, and actually see them in action.
Yep.
To be able to talk to a peer and say, hey, how's business going for you? What are you guys expanding into? What are you doing over there in the southeast? I'm up in the northeast. How's it similar? What are you guys capitalizing on? Getting that business intelligence is huge, and getting it in person over several days at one time is so powerful and so rewarding. And I don't think there's any other opportunity, certainly not in North America. I mean, there's a lot of events, and it's great. Our partners that we work with the buyers groups and CEDIA, and manufacturers and distributors. There's a lot of events. We understand that, but there's no other event that CEDIA Expo CIX. There's no other event that approaches 15,000 industry pros, that has 400 manufacturers, that has 20 sound rooms, that has the parties, the networking, and the education, the number of educational sessions, 200 educational sessions just between CEDIA's conference program and the manufacturer product training sessions. I mean, there is no other event like that in North America. There's no other opportunity like that that happens once a year at CEDIA Expo and CIX.
Mhm.
So, I encourage everybody to make your plans. A lot of people wait till the last minute. It always baffles me that, registration opens and some people register early. Great. People don't book a hotel room or plane ticket till late, but, if you're planning to go, then make the commitment to go. Start thinking about how you can maximize those days. And we'll have a lot more information coming out on the show website, cediaexpo.com, in the near future, where you can look at all the sessions, you can register for the show, you can book a hotel room, you can find out all the information. You can look at the live floor plan, see where the exhibitors are, who's exhibiting, and reach out to them. So there's a lot of pre-planning you can do to maximize your experience at the show.
Yeah, Just a note on the value of like the experience and being there in person and seeing this stuff in action. I mean, I came into this industry like a handful of years ago, and as a journalist whose job it is to tell integrators about this stuff, there's nothing more valuable than going to CEDIA Expo and seeing this stuff in action, and seeing an immersive lighting demo that really captures like the power of lighting. Sitting in a home theater demo where there's a 5 foot base behind me that's like hitting me in the chest from the lows. Yeah, I can't speak enough about how valuable that is for folks that are new to the industry. So if you're an integrator, listening, and you have a bunch of new folks, bring them, because there's not going to learn more anywhere else.
I mean, I admit I am a technology geek. I always have been, and I love seeing like the cool new tools, the cool new products that are at the show. I still tell people about the CC'd, folding display. It's a piece of artwork, right?
Yeah.
And it's so cool just to watch it open up and close, and like everybody would love to have one of those in their backyard, by their pool. And that's the kind of stuff you see in person at CEDIA Expo. That's really cool. And it's like, okay, what else am I going to discover? And I think about the ideas that come from wandering the show floor and going up and down the aisles, and you're like, wow, I didn't know somebody made that, or wow, I could have really used this on my last project, because here's a really cool tool or a really cool mount that would have solved my problem for this customer, and that kind of discovery, if you will, is so valuable. I know we're talking a lot about the potential, but we have tons of testimonials from attendees and exhibitors from every year, and last year especially. It was an amazing show we had last year, and we're going to have another amazing show this year, which is great. I do want to address one thing that I know people have asked about, like, gee, there's a lot of rumors, is the show going to stay in Denver forever? Well, the answer is no. Going on the record right now, I'm going to say it. We've listened to the manufacturers, to the attendees. Denver's a wonderful city, and over 80% of attendees and exhibitors enjoy Denver as a host destination. Large majority. That being said, a large majority of attendees and exhibitors want the show to rotate to a different city every year. So we've heard that very clearly. And so starting in 2027, we're going to start rotating the show around to various cities across the country, and great convention cities. We will go back to Denver in the future. And so, it's not that we don't like Denver. We love Denver. And we will continue to rotate through Denver in the future. But, we're looking at other cities. We're finalizing the space contracts with the facilities now. We will announce very shortly, like, our next 5 years schedule of dates and city rotation. But that's something that we'll look forward to starting in 27. But as I've said before, whether the show is in a cornfield in Iowa or in downtown Denver, it's the place to be. And everyone should plan to come to the show and make the most of it. It's great. A city offers a lot of other experiences, dining options, bars, fun things you can do. And that varies from city to city. So we'll look forward to going to different cities that have some of those different experiences. We recognize for some business owners, this is like their vacation, that they take a week out of their busy lives and their businesses to go and learn and commune at CEDIA Expo and CIX. We want to make sure it's a great experience all around. And, the expo hall, as we've discussed, is only one part of that, a big part of it, sure. But, the whole city. And so that's important to us, that as we look at host cities in the future, that they can accommodate the show, that they do have the hotels, they have entertainment and dining options, they do have the travel and flight capacity. So that's all important to us. So I just wanted to share that we are doing that. We will be announcing the dates and the cities in the very near future. And, we are listening. And again, this show is for the industry. I can't say this enough. We do it because we love it, but we do it for you, the manufacturer, the channel provider, the distributor, the rep, the integrator, the installer, the designer, architect. We are hosting the show for you. It's important to us to serve the needs of CEDIA, of the industry, the buyers groups, everyone who comes together. And so, we're always listening. And if there's ways that we can make it better, we want to hear about it. But again, it takes a village. That sounds cliche, but we just can do the organizing, the brands bringing their best products, the volunteers that provide training and education and subject matter experts, great guys like you that help to facilitate the conversations and amplify the messages. It really is a labor of love. I say that very sincerely. It sounds cheesy, but I've been in this trade show business a very long time and in the AV industry a very long time because I love it. And everybody who's listening to this, you do what you do, I'm sure, because you love it too. And that's why CEDIA Expo and CIX is the place to be.
That is a great note to end on. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jason. I am incredibly excited. I can't wait to hear what the host city is going to be in 2027. I can't wait for registration for 2026 to open in April. Zach, you want to take us away? Again, thank you so much, Jason. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, Dan, you and I are both, part of some of these conversations, and we're all, working hard to come up with some new stuff. And there's a lot of exciting things, going on behind the scenes. A lot of fun conversations being had. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you all in Denver, and who knows where after that.
Mm-hmm.
Remains to be seen.
Yeah, stay tuned. As I said, registration will be opening up in April. I certainly love the opportunity to chat again as we have some more details of finalized for the show that we can share. And stay tuned. I mean, we're going to keep issuing press releases and announcements, and visit CEDIAExpo.com for all the show details.
Very good. Jason, Dan, thanks very much, guys. Aloha.
Thank you. See you soon. Take care.